But you're not
We always have ours in March, but we usually are from the UK.
You've got no business there.
I don't believe a word of that. Office supplies and stationery.
Well, I was taking it off income tax. Just a few words from me. I make a speech, but it should be like a woman's press, long enough to cover the subject, but short enough to maintain interest. Or, if you like, I will try and avoid the Robert to detail. We were thinking about future gatherings, and we're all getting fairly doddery, and probably we may not have anything of this nature in 5 years' time, because, you know, we really passed our cell-bound date. I mean, sans teeth, sans eyes, sans everything. It could happen to some of us, if you remember rightly. So we might just have lower-key lunches or gatherings, and, you know, maybe a cocktail party or something, but I don't know that, we can see how it goes, but we may not have anything like this. So this is, in a way, our swan song. Okay, wow. All right. Wow. But, you know, if we do have something like lunches and so on, there are certain restaurants that have paramedics as waiters. Now, I just thought this would amuse you. I came across the other day, and this will ring a very responsive chord to some of you. How to tell that you're getting old. Everything hurts, and what doesn't hurt doesn't work. The gleam in your eyes is the sun shining on your bifocals. Your children begin to look middle-aged. And this is the one that's very topical for some of us. A dripping tap causes an almost uncontrollable urge. And then, of course, we all know this, it's absolutely true. You need your glasses to find your glasses. Your knees buckle, but your belt won't. And sadly, your back goes out more than you do. And then the worst one, and it has happened to some people that I know of, you sink your teeth into a steak and they stay there. And then, finally, your birthday cake collapses under the weight of all the candles. So, to make it topical, you go into your 60th reunion and all your classmates are so grey and wrinkled and bald that they don't recognize you. So tomorrow we'll see you all at the dinner, I hope, or most of you, and we can continue our fun and games there. So thank you all for coming. Enjoy the rest of the evening.
members of the 60-year-old Archbishop's class and spouses and partners, friends. It's a great honor for me to be able to present a tour of bishops.
You have been coming to this chapel for the time that you were at school. It was here, it was built in 1926, and it is in honor of those who fell in the First World War, old boys who fell in the First World War, just over 100. But I think we're going to leave it with this and then take one or two views about your own experiences in the chapel.
The organ was here, and now it's moved there, probably in honor of Brown.
I think some other guy came and put it there. But that's a much more traditional place for an organ
Yes,
concert.
I see.
And you can also, the timing. I used to play this thing.
Yes.
And it took time for the noise to come from there. 0.7 seconds of echo.
Yes, 0.7 time lag.
One had to be a little bit ahead of what they were doing. The noise would all come at the same time.
They said he died in the wilderness.
I think out in the rivers somewhere.
Not to block out the most amazing view, because that view and that peak is where the architect William White placed Chalmers House. So there's a line running right through to Chalmers, and that line also takes into account the chapel roof. This school must be seen in terms of its vive la différence, because it inculcates difference and different thinking in the way it educates boys, not to conform but to be disruptive in their thinking, in a constructive way, to be creative, so that they can go out and be leaders. And I say that with all due respect. Otherwise, it's conformity, and we go back to the dark ages. We don't want that. Who are required to go up and down buildings in the lifts that are placed in the various buildings. But so could you explain how 4 by 100 under 19 can be run shorter than 4 by 100 under 19? They put the microphone on, he said, correction to the previous And so each house is built around a quadrangle, very much along the Roman style of a cortile, with a portico around, and then locker rooms, ablution, housemaster's study, and each of these is in that way. It's all there for a very, very good reason.
Well, why is there a separate post-matric place there?
The post-matric place used to be the Lowenstein Center, and the character, from what I can gather in reading up on him, he was, as I said, the headmaster of St. John's College, and then came to teach mathematics here. And when holidays came here, the taxi collected him, and he spent his entire holiday in the Mount Nelson. I don't know.
It cost him with money. You're joking.
What are the current fees of
About 80,000 rand. About double. It's still cheap.
Yes.
Very cheap for English British prospective students.
But anyway,
Certainly the history of the chapel I've never heard in any depth before.
Now the first original site was about 55. You have whatever 5 times 75 is.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of
they're new houses,
Pretty
aren't they?
small.
Yeah.
There were very few buildings up here. It was kind of like open space mostly. There was a tuck shop down here, where it still is, but these other buildings weren't here. The pavilion was just a small, it was like that building down there, which is now the pavilion for that field.
Bishops starts at 10 to 8 and finishes classes at 3:15, and then there's sport after that, and sometimes societies. It's a long day for them. The house system is enshrined in the structure of the school, and that means that every boy's got a tutor. So he has port of call if there's a problem, or where the tutor oversees his work and studies and checks up on his academic performance. Money to build a world-class indoor cricket centre, which ties up beautifully with the world-class oval, named after Frank Reed, named after him in 19... That is the Twentyman Jones corner, and then you have things like Canon Jenkins, a portrait, Canon Brooke, Richard Brooke. You have Sam Butler corner here, beautiful books and tomes in the cabinets donated by families such as Even A. Alexander Logie de Toy, a boy from the school who founded the theory of continental drift. And his White prizes are here, White prizes being named after H.M. White, the first principal for classics. Signed by the will of Mr. Cecil John Rhodes, who died in 1902, only a few months after he had come to Canon Jenkins to say, I want to establish a scholarship and I want your school to be the guinea pig. And then of course the guinea pig became two members of the school, Yeoman and Reed, go up to Oxford, both in the same year, and the only existing pre-Will Rhodes scholars in the world.
All these little birds' eggs in here. It's beautifully done.
Those your eggs.
No. But you know, that's what we did at school, and we had an ornithological society, as you know, and that's where I had my beginning, you know, photographic and ornithology, and I learned it all here.
Amazing.
That is amazing how that links up to the story of the establishment of Bishops. Bishops was established in the halls of the architectural societies of Oxford. Of Solomon is inscribed, so I read that with great interest.
To Andy about this, if anything happened, nobody would know what it was.
No. So which is with the donors standing next to them. Members of the English side had to board the Union Castle in Durban, and so it was unfinished. And what I've done, I've collected 25 interesting. Of the date of the naming of the Frank Reed, I'm pretty. Every boy could have, and this is probably more important than just the layout in dormitoria, that every boy has his own space. And Bishops is still like that today. There's 770 boys here, but they all have their own space. And every boy has an opportunity to be prominent in what he's trying to achieve.
And we as new boys in 1950, in
found this. We laid this. I was actually horrified when I walked in here and I saw the amount of cement between. We must have got tired. But at any rate, they've been there for a long time.
Under the direction of Mr. Rees.
Under the direction, yes. They say you can see they're all in the mathematical equation and
Because this is probably where you studied. This is a library, I believe, at the time. It was consecrated back into a church, having been built as a church in 1881. And so the most important part of this building is the stained glass window in honor of Robert Gray and of Sophie Gray. The other windows are here in commemoration of certain celebration of the South African War, the Rhodesian War, and other events. And they feature saints such as St. Longinus,